Good evening. Now, as long-term viewers of my channel may know, for the past 2 years I've said that Kingsman is my favourite film. And to be honest, I'm not necessarily. I doubt you're relatively surprised about that. I mean, it had very British style humour, a lot of action, and just constant one-liners, and I just feel it was a great film. Well, of course, this year, 2017, they came out with a sequel, Kingsman: The Golden Circle. And I was fairly keen to see this film. I had to wait a little while before I was able to, but I finally went today, I saw it, and to be honest, while I don't know if it's as good as the first film, it's still pretty damn good. I mean, the basic plot for you. 1 year has passed since the events of the previous movie, and Eggsy is now kind of operating as Galahad agent while also dating the Princess of Sweden. Yeah, last movie. However, things become a bit more complicated for the Kingsman agents when their headquarters are destroyed by a kind of evil drug lord played by Julianne Moore, named Poppy. Her plan is essentially to release a kind of virus in the form of every recreational drug there is, and when people fall victims of the virus, she would blackmail the president into... Basically, she said she would give him the antidote, give everyone the antidote, if he would end his war on drugs. Basically, and kind of release them from any future law proceedings, and basically make selling drugs legal. But to be honest, that's not all part of it, because aside from just being the head of a drug cartel, she's kind of pretty brutal. I mean, towards the beginning of the film, as I say, you got a kind of smart car chase with Eggsy and kind of a new drone, one of Poppy's drones, who was Kingsman applicant in the first film. But then you cut to a scene of Poppy meeting up with two of her kind of liaisons, and with one having betrayed her, she feeds him into the mincer and turns him into a burger, which she then serves to another one of her liaisons. Which to me, that's pretty brutal. I mean, within the first film with Richmond Valentine, played by Samuel L. Jackson, he was a villain who he was prepared to commit mass genocide, but then again, he didn't like the taste of he didn't like the look of blood. He said, if there's blood on the carpets, you have to take the carpets up. And to be honest, that was fairly funny. Whereas Poppy, she was just a lunatic. I mean, yeah, once again, that does actually make the film pretty good. I mean, for a start, she's kidnapped Elton John, making him perform daily concerts, and even Elton John in this movie is awesome. Even he does little fighting. But the casting in this is also very good. I mean, as I said, you've got the original cast returning, such as Taron Egerton and Mark Strong. You've also got Colin Firth returns. When I heard he was returning, I was a little bit sceptical. I mean, kind of bringing characters back who are supposedly dead, that can go either way. That can either be, oh, okay, or no, that didn't work. Here, I think they worked it in fairly well, kind of mixing in with the statesman. I feel they did well. But then you've also got the new statesmen such as Jeff Bridges, Channing Tatum, Pedro Pascal, and Halle Berry. I feel they did a nice kind of story arc with Halle Berry, with her wanting to be a statesman agent, but having always been pushed out by Pedro Pascal. And then kind of towards the end of the film, a little bit of a spoiler, but in the end she does actually get her chance, and I feel that was a nice arc with her. I mean, with Mark Strong's arc, I was sad when he ultimately bit the dust, but you know what? I think he had a good story arc and he did well. I do wish they could have done more with Roxy, kind of from the first one. I mean, she does show up in this movie, but then she's killed within about the first 15 minutes, and to be honest, I felt that was rather sad. I felt they could have done more with her. But you know what, we got Colin Firth back, and you know what, as ever, he's really good. I mean, this movie has a load of kind of callbacks to the first movie. For example, when they're trying to get Colin Firth's heads back to rights. They're sitting in a USA-style bar similar to the first movie, and they get kind of shoved around by some kind of mean people like the henchmen in the first movie. And then Colin Firth proceeds to lock up the bar and prepare to, but then he finds he can't do his moves as a result of his amnesia, which time Pedro Pascal just stands up and went, "Hold on, I got this." And upon seeing his version of events, I was like, yeah, I'll accept that. Yeah, as I said, it's also got a load more kind of callbacks to the first movie. For example, in the last few minutes there's a scene that of course back to the first movie of Eggsy meeting Harry and the Taylors, which once again kind of parodies their earlier conversation, and there are a load more scattered throughout the movie. And I think they did some good here. I mean, in terms of whether I'd want to see a third movie, I mean, it's Kingsman. It's one of my favourite movie franchises, but you know what, if they ended it here, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they did good here. I mean, I'd like to see a third movie, sure, but then again, if they want to leave it be, yeah, fair enough. So, yeah, while I don't necessarily think it's as good as the first one, it's still pretty damn good. And I advise you, if you can see it before it leaves cinemas, I'd say give it a chance. The only thing I might say about it was that it was a little loud. But then again, that kind of worked with me, because before I went into the cinema, I'd had a bit of a headache, and I was thinking of just taking some paracetamol, just calm it down a bit. But having seen this movie, I would have thought if I had taken paracetamol, it would have made me a little bit anxious. But then again, it's a good movie. Not as good as its predecessor, but you know what? Still pretty good. I advise you, if you get a chance, check it out. Anyway, I'm going to change out this suit. See ya.